Okie dokie. We are back on my random coverage of this the Diddy case. Let's see. Let's recap what happened yesterday before we continue on with the cross. Um, I think one of the main things that came out yesterday that I thought was very interesting was when she released the fact, Cassie released the fact that she was hooking up with her now husband. What's his name? I think it's like Ian Feinstein or something like that. He's a personal trainer that Diddy paid for to help get her in shape, and I guess she was hooking up with him. And this is the time where she was trying to break up with Diddy, and she was telling him this. And Diddy does this one thing that I think was kind of understandable. I mean, you could relate to this. Since she was hooking up with a personal trainer, he wanted all the money that was paid to the personal trainer back. Now her husband. So I mean, that's actually a very reasonable ask. And I mean, what do you guys think about that? If you paid for your wife's or partner's personal trainer and she hooks up with the personal trainer, wouldn't you want the money back? I don't know. I thought that was that was pretty interesting move, and that's where she accuses him of forcing himself on her, and she said like his eyes turned black, and I mean she could be over exaggerating, but who knows? It sounds like something that could totally happen, but she also reviewed that after that, while she was still with her current husband, she met with Diddy after that dinner and hooked up with Diddy consensually. That's not a good look. I'm just gonna say, you know what I mean? Like because she gets with a personal trainer now, her husband, while she was still with Diddy, but then again they're kind of on and off. And then she accuses him of forcing himself on her. And then like later on, she hooks up with Diddy consensually. That it's not a good look. Um, the other thing that I think is very interesting right now, they're in the middle of the cross, and one thing that the defense is bringing up right now is they're bringing up text messages from before of her talking to Diddy about like setting up these freak offs and whatnot, and I think right now the defense is basically saying, you know, you she didn't voice her opinion to not engage in these activities. You know, like how is Diddy supposed to know that you didn't want to do this when a lot of your actions, you're sending mixed messages. That's basically what the defense is saying, and I think they have a good argument about that. From what we learned from before, what was it? It was like when during the first day, I believe, the they interviewed one of the escorts. Cassie was the one that set it up. She paid him to urinate on her, right? And he was like, "What?" So I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, it doesn't. A lot of the stuff is not looking good. The other thing the defense is bringing up right now is um, about the urination stuff. Is that she didn't say anything about it. Like, basically, they're saying you didn't say that you didn't want that to happen, and then her reply was basically, um, nobody wants to be urinated on, right? But I'm saying that's weak because she didn't straight up say it. I think that's the problem right now. She's like, a lot of her stuff is basically you should assume, which is true. You would assume then nobody wants that to happen to them. But she didn't, because she didn't say it, or some of her actions kind of contradicts, um, like what was going on. It doesn't look good. There are holes, is what I'm saying. What else was very interesting that happened yesterday before we move on to see what's going on with the cross? Um, oh, she revealed how much money that she got from the settlement, which I thought was very interesting. It came out because she was trying to write a book, and she said she wrote the book because she wanted to kind of show Diddy that she made a book, and she wanted, I believe, it's like $40 million to pay, like as a payoff for the book, for it to not come out. And then Diddy was like, no, and then so she sued him, and then he basically paid her off to settle that right away for 30 million. That was super interesting. All right, let's get into what is going on right now. This Let me see, where are we at right now? We are on. They're going over some text messages that was sent out. Let's see. All right, so in the summary right now, they're saying the big part of their case is trying to get this jury to believe that Cassie was a consenting adult in a lot of these acts. And so they have text messages right now just going over, like, that she's talking to Diddy how to set it up, asking for, like, substances and, I guess, pills and whatnot, asking for other things to try to move things along for these parties. Which I have to make a comment, okay? I think they were talking yesterday. She said that these things can last like 3 or 4 days or whatever, and they will happen quite often, multiple times. How does Okay, and that's just with her, right? And this is what I was thinking about yesterday when I heard this. I was thinking that's just with her, and then Diddy does this with other celebrities as well, right? Supposedly, that's where all these other names are coming in. Like we've seen the pictures online with him with other, like celebrities, or other people are getting accused of being at some of these parties. And okay, the thought that came to my mind, right, is that how does he have time to do all this? Like, I was just thinking about this, just like, where does the time go? How do you have time? And she was kind of detailing, like, how does it go? Like, sometimes it's multiple sessions in one day. That's what she highlighted, how that elevator scene that happened, that we saw. We've all seen it on the internet, and she was saying that that's in between sessions. So it was like she was saying that she was gonna do a session, they're gonna take a break. She was gonna go to a movie premiere and then come back to do another session, right? And so I'm like thinking to myself, so that's just one day, right? And then that must take multiple hours of your time, right? How does he have time to do anything? I don't know. That's just a thought that came to my mind. If this is happening, and then she said that it takes like days to recover in between. So I can totally get where she's saying that it's becoming a big part of her life now. That it feels like that's her job. That's all she's doing. But I was thinking from the another point of view where it's like, how does Diddy have time I to get anything else done? That's And then I was thinking, what's crazy is that I think his net worth before this was 600 million dollars or something. So I'm thinking myself, like, how did he get up to $600 million in net worth? Spending multiple hours, multiple days at these doing this kind of activity when I can barely get to a fraction of that working my butt off. So I'm like thinking to myself, like, are we all just not doing the right things? in life. I don't know. That's that's one of the first thoughts. One of the thoughts that came to my head yesterday when I saw heard that this is taking multiple hours. Um, and I guess I want to make another comment as well. This all this stuff right now with the the parties and Cassie is very interesting, and it like grabs the headlines. Uh, but at the same time, it's not moving the case forward, I think that's the issue that I'm seeing. Well, we're still very early. I think this case is supposed to be like 2 they're projecting 2 months of this, right? We're on day 4 now. We're just getting into the cross for Cassie. But she's supposed to be one of their main witnesses, right? But to be honest, not a lot of what she said, even though it's like graphic and very interesting and it grabs the headlines, moves the case forward. Because that's one thing I actually noticed today as I'm going through the different news sites. They've changed the headlines for for this case. Before it just said like the Diddy trial or whatever, but a lot of these new headlines are saying the like Diddy's trafficking case. So, and again, I said this yesterday. The other takeaway that that I got from this is that if you ever get to the level that he's at and you engage in this kind of activity, one takeaway that we can all learn, because at the end of the day, I don't know, we should learn from the fall of men, right? Um, one thing that I've learned from this, if you ever get to this level and you want to engage in this kind of activity, not saying that I would ever do that. I'm just saying to each its own, right? Support the local economy. Like I was saying this yesterday, you would assume that someone of his reach has some sort of consultant or some sort of criminal attorney. You know, like usually these guys have like criminal defense lawyers on retainer, right? And usually, and how it works is you pay them monthly, annually, whatever their retainer is, and you get like access to them. You call them, and they'll give you advice. And usually, you guys have like a meeting once or twice or 3 times a year, and you have like you have access to them, right? And they kind of guide you on the laws and whatnot. I'm pretty sure most of these guys must have some like lifetime criminal defense attorneys on retainer. They just like, like you remember watching American Psycho when Bateman, like, he started to break down. The first person he called was his lawyer, and that is like that guy is he's on retainer. You call him when you're in trouble, right? And even before that, they kind of like guide you on stuff. I'm just thinking, so someone like Diddy, who's like I said, net worth at the time was upwards to $600 million. Now I think his net worth is half of that. That's what the reports are saying. None of those. He didn't have one person to tell him to support the local economy and not not fly um, these workers across state lines. Literally, if he had one person to tell him to support the local economy, you know, buy local, he would not be in the situation that he's in right now. Because I think that's the main thing that they really have on him, is that a lot of these workers were from out of state, and once they move over that line, as Trump would say, someone put a line here. Once they get to that cross that line, it becomes a big issue. So that's one thing I think we could all learn from Diddy. If you ever want to engage in this kind of activity and you get to this level and you're bored, that's what a lot of these guys do. What happens to a lot of these guys, they get bored and they want to push what they can do. support the local economy and do not hire people from out of state. Another thing that I think we've learning from this so far. All right, all right, all right. Enough of that. Let's get back to what's going on here. All right, I just updated. Cassie's back on the stand, so she's ready to resume. We're on the cross. So let's see. We'll scroll down a little bit to see what we miss. Combs seeing. Sean is seen passing sticky notes to his lawyer during Ventura's testimony. Okay, interesting. We never know. We'll never know. I wonder what those notes can say. All right. Okay. Okay. Let's see. Cassie's frustrated. She's frustrated that she cannot form a relationship with Combs's children. Okay, I can see that. Again, a lot of her testimony. I know they're trying to build character in the base. I'm telling you, a lot of it doesn't have to do with what he's being charged with. Um, it's grabbing the headlines. Like I said, she's the key witness, but you got to remember what he's on the stand for. It's not for. And I don't know why the media is so focused on the party stuff. He's not on trial for party stuff. It's for the trafficking, basically moving the workers from one place to another to do these activities is what he's on trial for. It is one of the main things that they're going to get him on, and then criminal enterprise using his businesses and his influence to kind of get people to do to do things. Um, I mean, the Kid Cudi thing is a great example, but I think the Kid Cudi thing, that's very weak as well, because unless we have some sort of surprise witness down the road that can say that, hey, um, Diddy did it, you know, you know, Diddy did it. He told me to hit Mr. Solo Dolo and make sure that everyone was there to see what happens if you cross uh, the big bad boy. So because this came out yesterday as well. I think she was saying that Diddy sat down with Kid Cudi and they asked him about the car thing, and Diddy was like, and she said this. Diddy was like, "What car? What are you talking about?" Like he said that he didn't know, but who else? I mean, we're all alleged. Everyone just alleged that he assumed that he had something to do with Kid Cudi's car being blown up, but that's what I'm saying. We don't know, and unless they have someone that can have real like can really point it out that, hey, I got the order. It's I got this. It's on tape. I have the order of Diddy saying, hey, I don't like Mr. Solo Dolo, and I want to send a message. And then you need more. You can't just rely on someone saying, I think he had something to do with Mr. Solo Dolo's car getting blown up. So we need more. Let's see what else is going on. All right, so I'm going back because there's not much new. They're just getting back to the stand, so I'm trying to go back and see if I skipped anything, any updates on the trial that of the cross that we could find very interesting. Okay, and let's see. I'm seeing this thing right here. Let me see if I can share it. She said, this is 19 minutes ago. She is a jealous person, and this is the headline that is being shared by CNN, and this is CNN's courtroom reporter that's now. Okay, it says Ventura says she felt some jealousy of Combs' former partner, Kim Porter. Very interesting. So that's the other thing she said. That really weakens her case. She's mentioned before, they've asked her, why did you continue to do these activities with Combs if you hate it so much? And she said that, and I'm paraphrasing, I'm trying to summarize what she said, but basically she said that she continued because she wanted his love, right? And she was a very, very jealous girl, and she didn't want to get replaced by some other girl. And she knew that if she didn't do these things, he was going to replace her with someone else. So that's why she continued to do it. And that's not good. It doesn't make her look very good. But I'm trying to remember Kim Porter. Kim Porter, is that the one that mysteriously passed away? Yeah. Sorry, my dog's barking in the background. Yeah, she's the one that just passed away from pneumonia. Very interesting. Okay, here's a thought. Which doesn't look good. Is that Cassie's saying that she felt jealous of Kim Porter, and Kim Porter mysteriously passes away from pneumonia? I don't know. Doesn't look good. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's very similar to the Kid Cudi thing, where like, oh, you're saying that Diddy's jealous of Kid Cudi, and you're saying that he blew up the car. We need evidence, guys. We need some evidence. All right, let's move on. Okay, she feels like there's a lot we're. Oh, interesting. Cassie is, I guess she's feeling frustrated at the defense because she's saying that they're skipping over a lot of stuff. Okay, so defense attorney Anna Estavo reviewed some text messages with Casey from a 19-page text exchange between her and Diddy Combs. Okay, in the thread, the couple was planning for Combs to join her in New York City in New York City for the weekend. The jury also saw some text messages between them planning to see the Book of Mormon, okay, about escorts and clubs. Then Estavo moved on to another exhibit. Ventura said, "This isn't about what I feel is relevant right now because there's a lot we're skipping over." And then the defense attorney just like, whatever, and just kept on moving on. Very interesting. All right, so the defense is basically using the text messages to characterize Ventura as a consenting adult. That's what the legal expert is saying. Ventura says women on social media often claim to be in a relationship with Combs. Okay, that's what I'm saying. It goes back to she's very jealous. Really? There's nothing? She's been back in the stand for like a gajillion minutes and there are no updates? All right, so I guess we're gonna go back unless Washington Post has something. Let's see what Washington Post says. Okay, in the cross. Okay, yeah, they're basically saying the same thing. Combs's lawyers is trying to establish that Miss Ventura is a loving partner and a enthusiastic participant in the marathon sessions. Okay. Let's see, the defense had already acknowledged in its opening statement on Monday that Mr. Combs was responsible for the DV and had an unconventional life. But the jurors were told then that the evidence would show that he's not guilty of the charges of trafficking and racketeering. Okay, like I said, we're getting mixed messages. We'll see what is going on. So that's no one's No one's giving any updates. We're never gonna know what's gonna happen. All right. Oh, never mind. They're still on break. That's why there's nothing going on. Oh, but they installed privacy screens, and so we're gonna see. I guess they're gonna show some more pictures. Very interesting. Oh yeah, I'm curious to see now, because I feel like we're basically done with Cassie, and I'm curious to see what other witnesses do they have lined up. In the beginning, I believe there was a list that came out of potential celebrities that may be involved in this case, and so we could see any one of them pop up. And oh my gosh, to be one of those celebrities right now to have to pop up for this case is damaging. I saw somewhere that Mike Myers was on the list. Am I thinking of it right? Like Mike Myers, not Austin Powers. Come on, come on. Austin Powers. Come on. Yeah, let me see. These are some of the names that were included. That could be included with the trial. Let's see. Okay, Michael B. Jordan, Kid Cudi. We've already got a little bit about Kid Cudi. We're talking about the car explosion. Okay, Casey, Michelle Williams. Okay, Mike Myers again, kind of weird. Lauren London, Don Richards. Who's Dallas Justin? Austin. Who's that? I have no idea. Who's this guy? A songwriter, record producer? What is he famous for? Who? Do you guys know who Dallas Austin is? I have no idea who he is. Okay, let me see. He's a. Oh, I don't know any of these songs though. Do you guys know any of these songs? Let's see. He's a songwriter, producer. I guess he's known for these particular songs. All right. Money I'll Go. I don't know that one. Bumblebee. Oh, hey, I know that one. Shiloh, No Cap. Not This Time. Ready to Wear. Leave With You. Better Say It's Me. Bad Girl. I don't know. Drummer Boy? No. I don't know any of these songs. I'm sorry. Do you guys know? I have no idea who he is. Okay. Anyways, any updates? Oh, one new one. All right. Court takes a step back to have Casey Ventura testimony conclude before baby arrives. Okay, we all know that. That's why she, in a way, I believe they said it before that I believe she's due next month or something like that. She's very preggers, and one thing that she's been doing as she's testifying is just she's been rubbing her belly to make sure everyone knows that she's preggers. And one thing is that I believe this is the last day for Cassie. Oh my gosh. Yeah. So today's the last day for her. So we're gonna see if anything very interesting comes out before she. Okay. What will make this like case extra crazy to make it an extra like marathon-y super show is that in the middle of her testimony she goes into labor. If that happens, we are living in a simulation because there's that would be insane. That would be insane. Okay, the newest updates still the same thing. They're just trying to establish that she is a willing participant in the parties, right? Okay, let's see. The testimony also turned to jealousy, which Combs' lawyers have said that it's part of their argument that the two had had a toxic but still consensual relationship. Ventura said she was upset when she learned via social media that Combs was seeing another woman. When asked how he reacted to the suspicion that she was seeing another man, she said it was a little scary. It was a little scary. Okay. Interesting. They've condensed all the breaks to make this go very quickly. So, because since she's due to give birth next month, okay. Ventura said Combs often brought up her relationship with Kid Cudi, Mr. Solo Dolo. Throughout her relationship with Diddy, Cassie said he would often bring up her relationship with Kid Cudi, who's identified by name in court, Scott Muscati. Let's see, he brought it up quite a bit. She testified. She confirmed that when she accused him of cheating on her, he would often bring up her relationship with Kid Cudi. Okay. Very interesting. I mean, that seems like okay. Here's what I'm gonna say about that. Uh, we've, I'm pretty sure we've all been. Uh, oh, I don't know. I wouldn't say we've all been, but I'm saying we've all seen that happen to a relationship or experienced that before, where once a partner cheats, the other one kind of holds it over the other one forever. This is what I'm gonna say. If that ever happens, just leave, move on. You don't want to be in a relationship where someone is constantly bringing up something to hold over your head. It's it, you're doomed. If the other person's still with you and they cannot forgive you or move on, um, just you yourself need to move on because you don't want to be in a relationship with someone that is constantly bringing up your mistakes and kind of like put you down and use that to kind of like do whatever they want to do now. Like, you know what I'm saying? Where it's like, oh, I get to do this because that one time you cheated on me, so I get to cheat on you. Okay, so if that's the case, that means you guys are even now, right? You right? So that means both of you guys need to stop bringing that up and move on together. But if one person cheats on you, and then now all of a sudden the another person's going to use that as an excuse to continuously cheat on you, then you need to move on. You know what I'm saying? Like you got to get out of that because it's not going to work. You guys are going to be doomed. You're going to be fighting forever about something that already happened, and so you guys are supposedly still together. And if you're still together, you got to work together. I mean, usually if you like the person enough, love the person enough to forgive them, then you forgive them and just move on. Don't keep bringing it up. That's what I'm gonna have to say about this whole thing about what she's saying that Diddy keeps bringing up the Kid Cudi thing and he's like getting with other girls or supposedly hooking up with other girls. I mean, keep in mind this is through her lens. um he could possibly even say like, hey, I didn't do anything, but you keep thinking I'm doing something, and sometimes that actually has the opposite effect that you're thinking too. If you're gonna keep accusing a guy of cheating every 2 seconds, one day he's actually gonna do it, and he's gonna be like, well, you always thought that I was a cheater, now I am. Something like that. That's about that. Let's see. Oh, she's describing how she broke up with Sean in 2015. Let's see. Casey testified that in 2015 she broke off her relationship with Combs for a time while she was in South Africa filming a movie. She said she broke it off with Combs by sending a video of him with another woman at an event to chain. Wait, oh my gosh. Oh my, I'm sorry. She said she broke it off with Combs by sending a video of him with another woman at an event to a text chain with Combs and some of his closest staff. Ventura said she felt betrayed by them by not telling her. Ventura said she also blocked Combs' phone number for a time while she was filming. Okay, this is actually very interesting to me. So this is how she's describing how she broke up with him, and I'm trying to like walk over and think about the situation a little bit. Now, okay, keep in mind, we're reading all this as text updates. We're not living life. We're not her, and we don't know her experiences, and we're not in the courtroom, and we can't hear her delivery on this. But just reading the text and trying to be, I guess, objective of what's going on, um, I'll have to say that this is not action. This is not the action of someone that is afraid. You know how, like, earlier on, throughout yesterday and the day before, she was testifying that she was afraid and, she was doing this because he's, like, coercing, like, he's, like, blackmailing her or whatever, allegedly blackmailing her and all that stuff. Um, doing this, like, aggressive, like, I'm breaking up with you. Look, I just caught you cheating with me with that girl over there. And she didn't do it like in a she didn't send it to him privately. She like put it out there for his whole like a bunch of staffers to see and everything, like making a big public thing about it. Does not does not like show that she is like a weak um like scared little girl thing that 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 was portrayed earlier on. Uh, so I can see where how the defense is trying to highlight this and say like, "Hey, you seem like you're more of a, you feel like you're equal to him to do this." I don't know. What do you guys think about that? That's what I feel like when I read this. Okay, let's see. Okay, let's see. Actor Michael B. Jordan's name was just brought up by the defense. Okay, that's we were just talking about what other celebrities that can get dragged into this. Okay, so let's read this. At the time, Sean Diddy Combs was also suspicious that Cassie was starting to date actor Michael B. Jordan. Okay. When asked about it, Ventura said she didn't know how Combs reacted to this news because it wasn't with him to see it. Oh, she wasn't with him to see it. Okay, okay. Okay. Defense attorney Anna Estavo moved on from that line of questioning without expanding on the purpose of the relationship with Jordan. Okay, interesting. Let's look up Anna Estavo. Let's see. What does she look like? What does she? Okay, very interesting. You know what I also find very interesting is that the female lawyers, female defense lawyers, are like someone that you do not want to mess with. They seem like they can tear you up. This is what she looks like. This is from her LinkedIn. If you guys are curious of people like I am, at least I have. Let me see. If you're curious, people like me, I like to see what people look like. I'm gonna share that with you guys. All right, this is boop 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 boop. Oh, hope you guys can see this. She looks like she'll mess you up. Uh, like she's got that skinny girl energy. Then she'll mess you up. You could just tell. Okay. Okay, so basically they brought up Michael B. Jordan just got brought up in this case for no reason whatsoever. He's probably at home, um, like getting messages now, like, dude, they just brought you up. Like, what? Really? What did I do? Okay, let's see. All right, they're summarizing now. Ventura's testimony sets up an argument on both sides during the rest of the trial, expert says. Okay. Yeah, her answers are setting up to flesh out arguments that the lawyers would use later on, somewhere down the road. Okay, that's nothing new. We all know that. Of course, that's what they're doing. That was a non-update update. Ventura says her friends knew about the abuse because they sometimes witnessed it. Okay, so I'm pretty sure we're gonna see some of her friends. Okay, Cassie testified that her friends knew about Diddy's physical abuse of her sometimes because they witnessed it themselves. She told her parents, her brother, about the abuse at different points. Okay, very interesting. I'll have to say, Washington Post, you're very behind today. They're usually pretty fast. Okay, same thing. They're talking about her friends now. Okay, I think the defense is trying to go back and address the whole situation about the time that she got the gash on her eye. That's why they're asking about her friends and whatnot. Okay, now they're going back to the topic of the freak-offs. The defense asked Cassandra about her marathons with Sean Combs, were a chance to do substances together in a safe and confined space. Ventura agreed, okay, that they tried many substances, including psychedelics, and they enjoyed experimenting with things together during the parties and elsewhere, like at Burning Man. I've never been to Burning Man, but there's something about Burning Man taking place in a dusty desert that doesn't sound appetizing to me. Were you able to keep him away? Oh wait. Were you able to keep up with him in a way more than other people? Huh, interesting. This is what the defense just asked her. Were you able to keep up with him in a way more than other people? Uh, and then she replied with surprisingly, yeah. So yeah. I'm trying to, because like I said, we're not in the courtroom. This is in quotes. This is actually what she said, right? That's what's in quotes. Surprisingly, so yeah. Surprisingly, surprisingly, so yeah. I don't know. Kind of weird way to say surprise. Like surprisingly, so yeah. Sup- Surprisingly, so yeah. Hmm. I don't know. Very interesting. Okay, we've all met girls like that as well, where they try to hang with the big boys. You know, you're ever sitting around having some drinks, and you go in shot for shot, and some girl comes up and like, I want to party with you guys. That's what that feels like. All right, CNN. Now you're behind. Oh my God, CNN. Okay. Okay, so now no, there's still no updates, but they're still talking about. They're still talking about her keeping up with the big boys. Okay, interesting. I'm trying to think of, because they have it in quotes. So that's kind of saying that's what she said. Surprisingly, so yeah. Surprisingly, so yeah. Mm. Okay. Off and off and off. Okay. Nothing much. Cross day so far. It's going all right. Cross day. All right. So yesterday I felt like it went to the prosecutor side. They got a lot of stuff that came out. I feel like days 1 and 2 went to the defense side. Cross day obviously so far is going defense side. But then again, it's cross day. So you would expect it to go to the defense side because they're just going to be going through and harping over all the things that kind of just shows that she was a very willing participant. Because like I think one thing that's very big is that she stayed with him for so long. it it doesn't the part where they were talking about now that the way how she broke up with him doesn't seem like a person in distress. That's not a person what a person in distress would do. I don't know. Maybe someone may have some more insight on this, on if that's something someone in distress would do, but it doesn't seem like like that's what at least that's not what I would do if I was in her situation. I think I would if that happened, let me think. Cuz again, she broke up with him via video message and she blasted it out to his staffers as well. And she basically posted a video of him with another lady with another girl or lady and sent that to his staffers and then blocked his number. That's her in her words, in her way of saying how she broke up with him. I'm trying to think, if you were in distress and you were forced to be there, and you're saying that he had so much power over you, would that be what you would do as well? I think that's the question that you have to ask yourself right now. If you're in so much distress, is that the way you would leave the oppressor? Like basically, in a way, making him upset. Doesn't it just doesn't seem like that would be the way to go? Uh, like, why would you want to leave him super abruptly in an not abruptly, because in a way that's what you want to do, right? You want to just like leave, but she like called him out and then left. I don't know. That seems kind of like a very odd move. Very odd move. Okay. No updates for a while. I got some errands to run, but I will be back a little bit later. After this whole thing wraps up, I'm gonna try to do a recap and who I think is winning this case or not. Like I said, we're only on day 4 of what's projected to be a 2-month long uh, court case, and uh, at least I'm not alone on the internet. A lot of people on the internet side is saying that none of this, even though it's very exciting and very interesting, none of the freak-offs have anything to do with anything. It's just like it's just extra fluff. He's not being charged with for that. Okay, so I think that's basically that. Um, and there's a story that came out recently that I kind of want to look into. It has to do with the Blake Lively Taylor Swift thing. If you guys are following that at all, I just saw this thing. I'm just kind of curious to see if this is real or not. Is that Blake Lively is basically saying, if you don't support me, in this thing, Taylor, then I'm gonna release some messages that she has or whatever. And then, so I'm thinking to myself, like, this is very interesting. I've never seen it where you like you're trying to blackmail support in a way. That's very interesting. So we'll see where that goes. We will see where that goes. All right. I'll see you guys later. I'll try to do another update down the road. Unless if I refresh this right now and something cool happens. All right. Update. 1 minute. Ventura describes some of the times Combs was explosive. Okay. Miss Ventura says Sean Diddy Combs was explosive at times when he found out she was doing substances with her friends or took. Actually, this is actually very funny. Okay, I want to finish reading this. Okay, so the defense is asking her right now. Again, we're not in the court, so we can't get all the words, but this is a summary that we're getting, right? So we can only use what we have. She's describing times that uh, Diddy was explosive, and she said he was explosive at times when he found out that she was doing substances with her friends or took his substances without him knowing. Uh, if we weren't getting, I want to say, up, we weren't getting this, or if I wasn't doing it with him, it was a problem. This is actually, I don't know why this is actually very funny to me. Um, I'm pretty sure you guys have been there. Let's just say, let me paint an example for you guys because this is actually very funny. Again, I'm trying to make. I know I'm making light of what's going on. It's horrible. The whole case is horrible. But you gotta picture this. Okay, let's say you are invited to you. Okay, let's say you buy a case of beer, right? And it's the fancy pantsy beer, some hazy pazy IPA, whatever you're into, right? And you bought it, but for you to drink tomorrow. Maybe you have an event or party tomorrow. You bought it the day before, and you put it in the refrigerator. And it's one that you've been wanting to try for a while. Like it's the really fancy pantsy IPA or whatever you're into, and you're online, you researched it, and the online reviewers say that this is the best 5 stars out of 5 stars rating, right? And it's a little bit more pricier than the regular stuff that you usually drink. So you're like, okay, I'm gonna save it for tomorrow or an event coming up. You put it in the refrigerator, okay, and then you go out to the gym or you go out and you're not there anymore, and then your girl comes home with her girlfriend, and they've had a long day or whatever, and they start cooking up dinner. You're still out at the gym. You work out at night, and they're cooking dinner, and then they open the refrigerator, and they're kind of thirsty, right? And then they see the fancy pantsy IPA beer that you just bought that you hadn't tried yet, and they drink one, or they drink two, right? And they're like, oh, you know what? This is pretty good. It's almost like it's a 5 star out of 5 star fancy pantsy IPA beer. And they drink like all of it. They drink the whole case. And then you come home from the gym and you too maybe you're like, oh, you know what? I should try it before I bring it to the thing tomorrow because I don't even know if it's any good. We've all been there. We bought fancy pantsy things that have high ratings and it turned out to be a dud. So you're like, maybe I should try it too. And then you get home and your girl and her friend drinks all of it. You would be upset as well. So I'm reading this update of the defense asking her when was the time that Diddy was very angry, and her example is the times that they basically left him out of their party. I don't know. I think that's very funny. Um, again, not the best answer, but it's actually very funny. Let's see what Washington Post said about the same thing. Okay. Sean Combs would react explosively when he found out that his girlfriend, Cassandra Ventura, was doing substances with her friends and not him, she testified. The defense seemed to be implying that Combs' main triggers for violence against Ventura were jealousy and his own substance use, a point made in their opening statement, not necessary to force her into extreme situations. Very interesting. Okay, so I mean, again, that's a very interesting thing for her to bring up. To say that that's one of his main things. When you leave him, okay, the Diddy, the what's his other nickname? Love, Mr. Love, just wants to party. Okay, and as we already established earlier on, his whole week routine is to have a party going on every day, it seems like. Because she testified earlier on that the schedule would be freak off party, another one, recover, another setting another one up, and going again, basically multiple times, right? Multiple. Like I was saying earlier, how does he have time to run his company when he's at so many, like so many of these parties? And now she's saying that he gets very upset when she takes all his substances and leaves him out. And I was saying, we've all been there, okay? I- Maybe the beer example was not the best one. Maybe you could say cake. You have this bakery that you want to go to, and it's a fancy pantsy bakery, and you want to get a banana cream super layered cake from them, and you finally buy it, and you bring it home, and someone else eats it. I think you would be very upset as well. So I don't know. I just thought that that's a very interesting, very funny statement for her to make. All right, I'm gonna. if if we weren't doing it together and I wasn't doing it with him, it was a problem. Okay, I'm gonna leave it there because that's actually very interesting. All right, see you guys later. I have an errand to run, and I'm gonna wait for this whole day to be over, and I'm gonna get a recap, and then I'll try to summarize what's going on. See you guys later. Thank you.